Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I'm here in Ponytown building a thing. That's right, we're building something in the background as I talk to talk about a wishlist video, sort of. What I've done is I went through every single one of my previous wishlist videos and compiled every single idea from every single one of them. And then I put them all into a list that I currently have right here. You can hear it. You can hear the paper and everything like that. This is a pretty big list. It's come from 10 different wishlist videos and everything like that. And it totals up to a total of 59 ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one single idea from each of these videos and compile a new top 10 wish list video of all time, so to speak. So it's going to be a big thing where we take the best idea from each video and sort of put it into a single list, and I hope you'll enjoy that. So let's get right into it. And what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to essentially show the ideas for the first episode, the first video of the wishlist series, and then out of that I'm going to explain why I chose what I chose, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of them. So that way it won't be like 30 minutes for me, because I've already recorded this once and it was like 30 minutes long. So I'm going to draw this again in a shorter way. So here's the first list here from the first video, and out of these, honestly, there's some pretty good ideas, and some of them actually did happen. I will put some kind of asterisk next to it if it did happen or if it sort of happened, because there is a couple of things in this entire list of things that sort of happened. But here's the list, here's the things that have already happened, and of course, there are a handful of ideas here that I would still really love to have in the game. Cave-style decor would be really incredible, but out of these, I think hair decorations would be the most viable option. Not necessarily the most viable option, but it would be the most valuable option. Being able to add things to your hair, such as, you know, tiny spiders or tiny butterflies, or maybe some candy and maybe some glitter or something like that, would be really cool and really nice. Being able to have that, you know, maybe it's a new tab in the head, you know, tab in the items section or whatever like that, or maybe it just replaces whatever head accessory you have. Whatever the case, I think it would be really incredible to be able to add things into your hair and stuff like that. They would definitely have to work around the fact that there are certain hairs that are really small and certain hairs that just, well, are bald. So I think it could definitely work. I just love it. So that goes to #1 spot on the top 10 list. So number 2 on this list here is the second list of ideas from the second video on this wish list series. The Earth Pony ability I already immediately debunked in a previous video. I talked about why, you know, Earth Pony abilities are never going to come because they literally make no sense whatsoever. Party games like mini games and everything like that would be really cool to have. But I'm kind of suspecting that's going to come eventually anyway, and if it doesn't, then it's just not going to come. So out of these, I would pick rotating furniture, and you may be confused as to why, but the reason why I'm picking rotating furniture out of this list is simply because there is like 9 to 10 different sofas, but they only added 3 sofas. They added a small sofa, they added a double sofa, and then they added like the really big sofa. That's 3 different sofas they added. But because they added 3, they added like 4 versions of each of them, each with a different direction. One facing forward, one facing left, one facing back, one facing right. Instead of doing that, why didn't they just give us 3 different sofas and then just have us be able to press a button that rotates it itself? This should have been done a very long time ago. It should have been done with the benches, it should have been done with the beds, it should have been done with so many different things, and I'm so confused as to why they just decided to add all of those items and kind of clutter up the UI and you know, clutter up the space and everything like that, instead of just having it be one single item that sort of switches between them when you press a single button, such as shift or escape. Let's move on to this third one. Here's the third set of ideas and everything like that. And out of these, it's actually really easy for me to choose. And that is, of course, more animals on the map and bird watching. Sort of bird watching mechanics. Not necessarily just bird watching, but essentially the idea is that there's different types of birds and different types of, you know, bunnies, different types of foxes, perhaps if they added foxes as well, different types of whatever. And being able to sort of get close to them, you know, hold shift so they don't fly away or run away or whatever, you know, giving us a reason to walk slowly. Being able to do things like that and then click on it when we get close enough, and then it says like, oh, you've seen one of 16 different types of birds, or one of 16 different types of, you know, bunnies, or one of 16 types of bats, or whatever else, or something like that. That would be a really cool thing to do. It would give you more reasons to play, and it would be a really fun thing to kind of look back at all of the critters that you've seen. So being able to add that to some sort of system where you get to see the things you've collected would be really nice. Perhaps just a simple / bird watching command that shows you each of the types of animals that you've seen, or something like that. I don't know, but whatever the case, that is definitely something that I think should come to the game, and I definitely would love to see it. I think the animals, the little critters that you see, could be client side. That way, other players don't just run up on an animal and scare it away or whatever. So that could be a simple fix for that potential issue. But let's move on to the next one. And the next one is 4. So number 4 on the list, out of these ideas and everything like that, I think I would probably choose the number or name for each customization option, because right now it's very confusing on, you know, what you're looking for. For example, if I go to the head accessories and the items tab and everything like that, and I'm collabing with someone and I say, hey, just use the crown, there's like 4 different crowns. So what crown are they supposed to use? Are they supposed to use this specific crown, this specific crown? You know, what kind of crown are we supposed to use here? Instead of it being, you know, oh, use that crown, it can be, oh, use, you know, the tiara, and it's called the tiara. If you hover over it with your mouse, it's like, oh, it actually has a name. You know, hover over it, it has a name, perhaps a number or something like that instead. It's something that allows players to kind of immediately know what that thing is, or at least have the name of it, would definitely help with collaboration, especially for species and regiments where they can be like, oh, use crown, use the tiara, use the, you know, large bow, use the whatever, and it would be obvious what they're talking about because you can go into the game, hover over it, and it tells you what it's called. So that goes up on the number 4 spot. Up on the number 5 spot, here is the list of ideas for the 5th video, and of course, out of these, I don't think it's any surprise that I would pick the layering system out of these ideas, simply because we still have no proper way to place things on tables, and there's been a lot of new things that kind of mess with layers and stuff like that over the years and everything like that. Over the course of a few updates, I mean, we have things like rugs, and are they called rugs? They're called rugs or whatever, those little round rugs, doormats, things like that. Being able to change the layer of these things would be very helpful. So that was the number 5th spot. Let's take a look at the 6th video and those ideas and everything like that. So out of these ideas, I think, again, it's pretty hard to choose, but I've thought about it for a while, and this is what I would have to go with. I would have to go with editing the signs to say whatever we want. Now, I would really love to have the ball, or like the ball-like thing that was sort of in Animal Crossing, the first Animal Crossing for GameCube or whatever like that. I would definitely love to have that, but I think being able to edit the signs to say whatever we want would be better, simply because it's a 2D game, it's all pixels. A ball would kind of make sense, but it would be really hard to sort of implement and kind of show and everything like that. So we're going with edit the signs to be whatever we want. This can still be filtered through the PG server and other things like that. So if you try to say a certain thing on a sign, it just immediately kicks you and doesn't save the sign. So there's definitely ways to sort of fix that and everything like that. So that's that spot. Let's take a look at the 7th idea and those lists and everything like that. So here's the list of the 7th wish list video. Out of these, it's extremely easy. It's an extremely easy thing for me to choose. It's one of my favorite things on this entire list, right next to the bird watching feature. Timers. The /timer command would be so helpful and so useful for so many ideas for like games that you want to make yourself, or do this or do that or whatever like that. It would just be so amazing to be able to set a timer and then do a different challenge or a specific challenge within that time, and the timer goes out and it's done and you can't continue with that challenge anymore. It would just be really cool to have a timer and everything like that, especially if it gave you like a notification to your entire party whenever you set one. It would just be an incredible thing, and I think it would be so useful. We need a timer command. Please give us one. So at number 8, here is the 8th list of ideas and everything like that. This one was a little bit hard because I really want those plushies, but out of this list of ideas here, I would definitely have to go with the multi-select tool, just because of how useful it would be. The customizing the plushie a little bit further would obviously be useful for, you know, character customization and everything like that, but being able to select multiple items on your party island, your party house, or whatever else would be very helpful. For one, I could clear out an entire room without even using the /clear house command. I could clone an entire room without much thought. I could sort of do this, do that. I can do all kinds of amazing things being able to select multiple items. If I did this like fancy setup with a table or something like that, and I wanted multiple things off that table, I can select multiples of them at the same time, and, you know, delete all of them at once, and then Control Z to see if I'm sure about this, then Control Y if I am, and things like that. There's so many options and so many abilities and ideas that can come to mind as soon as you give us the ability to select multiple objects and multiple collectible items. So that's why that goes up on the number 7th spot, or the number 8th spot. Is that 8? Yeah, that was number 8. So let's move on to number 9. At number 9, here are these ideas, here are these things from that video, and out of these, it's kind of hard. But again, I've thought about it for a while, and I think grid snapping and wall snapping would definitely be the feature to add out of, you know, those ideas and everything like that. So being able to grid snap would of course help us tremendously if we had to do certain things like line up 2 fireplaces, or line up a bookshelf with a fireplace, or line up this with this, or whatever. That's good and all like that, but it would also be really helpful to be able to grid snap things to the wall, or like sort of wall snap things. So if I have a painting, I can sort of snap it to a wall in such a way that the game will still keep it, even though I turn on tall walls, it would still keep it attached to the wall. It would also allow it to be where you don't misplace it in such a way that you can walk in between the wall and the painting, or the wall and the window, which makes no sense at all. So that's why I think grid snapping and wall snapping would definitely be the one to pick out of those. But it is a little bit of a hard choice because of the emoji chat bar and everything like that. Finally, here at number 10, this one is extremely difficult because there are 2 on here that I really love and would really love to see happen to the game. For one, randomizing each part of the character would be a really cool feature and a really nice feature, but at the end of the day, I have to give it to prefabs. The reason why I have to give it to prefabs is simply because randomizing each part of your character is something that you can kind of do anyway. You can sort of already, you know, go to the head accessories again, for example, and then roll dice and then choose whatever you roll, that's what head accessory you get, and then do the same thing for the pattern, and do the same thing for the ear accessories if you even get one. You know, the same thing for the neck accessories, or the manes, the tails. You can always just roll dice or get a random number generator to sort of randomly generate it yourself. Obviously it takes a lot longer to do that than a feature that would just automatically do it, but because there's a way to get around it, I have to give it to prefabs, and prefabs themselves would be very helpful and really nice to see in the game. For example, it sort of ties in with the multi-select thing, where you select multiple objects and then save it under a prefab, allowing you to sort of move that entire set or spawn that entire set all at once. So let's say I have a nice little table set up and everything like that with plates and some cushions and everything like that, and oh no, I put it in the wrong spot, I don't want it here. Well, I can you know, save it as a prefab, delete it, and then move it somewhere else if I want to, or I can just multi-select it all and move it wherever I want. But being able to save it as a prefab means that if I want to eventually use it in a future build, I can do that without any struggle at all. It would be really easy and a huge time saver. So that's why I give this last spot to, of course, prefabs. So that's going to do it. Here is the final list right here up on screen for you. I do hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you kind of agree somewhat with these ideas. If you don't, let me know which of these you would swap around for other ideas and everything like that. And of course, let me know if you have any ideas or suggestions for Ponytown in the comments below. Good or bad, I would love to hear them, because this whole ordeal has kind of inspired me to make a future episode of this wishlist thing and everything like that. So maybe I'll make an 11th wishlist video sometime soon. I don't know when, I don't know why, and I don't know how, but I will eventually. So that's going to do it for the video. I do hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, and share, and do all of those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. That's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.